Today I'm meeting with Harry Payne of Property, so you might have an idea of what we're going to discuss. If you haven't figured that out already, I'll have Harry himself tell you what he's here for. So start off with your contact information for your business, then we'll talk about what it is that's today's subject.
Yeah, thanks, Harry. I'm Harry of Property, and we're a home repair and maintenance business. Our phone number, our direct phone number if you want to get hold of us, is 801-883-9220, or you can get us online at property.us.
And I'm trying to figure out are you from England?
Yes.
What part of England?
About 20 miles north of London. Grew up in that area and spent a lot of time in London.
And what's the area called?
Essex.
Essex.
That's the county down there.
I met some people from Croydon and Manchester.
Did you? Okay.
Yes, and so I just can't place accents very well, but I just wondered where you might have been from. All right. Well, what brought you here, first of all?
Oh, I'm a big outdoors man, so the mountains was my biggest draw actually, and being a new place to start up my business and develop us and grow.
So you like to ski?
I'm a big skier.
Big ski. Yeah, a lot of skiers are brought to Utah after being from someplace else, whether it's in this country or elsewhere.
You're right. Yeah, skiing, mountain biking, anything with the sun on my back, pretty much.
Well, it's been very difficult for me to find somebody like Harry because it's a very important subject, and as you know better than I do, people are very busy now, and people don't live on big tracts of land anymore, and that's becoming increasingly less common. And so people don't know as much about how to take care of property as they used to. I would count myself in that group. So it gets even harder when a couple breaks up, whether it's just a long-term relationship or a divorce. What kinds of things have you seen that people have to deal with in the aftermath of a divorce?
Sure. Well, in the simplistic version, you're going from one household to two, and that seems very obvious, but that means you're duplicating everything. Most likely one person is probably going to have to get a lot of new resources and new support where the other person may already have those. What I mean by that is they probably may well be selling a home, certainly someone's going to be moving to a new area and all those things, so lots of those things that are going to certainly go on.
And this is something that we didn't discuss in advance, so I don't want to spring this on you. I apologize for that.
It's okay, go
ahead. Before we get into that, I think one thing that we really ought to cover is what are the sorts of things. So, would you call yourself a handyman? A company that does handyman work, or would that be belittling you, or what would? What kind of services do you offer? Because I've been looking for somebody that could say, well, like if somebody said, I have a screen door that's broken, or I have a window that's broken that needs to be replaced. I have a garage door. I need to do certain things like that, and they may have counted on their spouse to do those things. We talked about before we went on camera. Even though I don't want to come across as sounding sexist, there are still a lot of couples where there's a division of labor in the household, where there might be the man is kind of known as the mechanical guy who takes care of mowing the lawn and fixing the mower and things like that, and then the wife might be somebody who keeps house, cleans house, and things like that. Well, those people split up, and people may be kind of ill-equipped. I may not know how to cook for myself, and she may not know how to fix the garage door, sort of thing.
Sure.
So what kind of services do you offer? And kind of give us an idea of rates and how one sets that up.
Yeah, sure. That's a really good point. So, in a technical point, yes, we are a handyman business. I would think of ourselves a little bit broader, more detailed.
Yes,
than
and we're going to get to that.
Detailed than that, because we get involved in lots of different things. What that really means is that we can assist people in vast majority, I'm thinking like 90+% of things that can go wrong in a home or might need improving, we can help them with. So I'm talking about changing out screen doors, fixing garage doors, the sink is leaking, I want to put in a new kitchen, or want to change the bathroom a little bit. We can help with all those little bits. So that's kind of where we focus on, and we've got a real specialty as a particular business, is actually drywall and wall repairs. So So if there is a few sort of dents and nicks after a difficult divorce, then we could probably help them with that too. But
yeah, or sometimes what people will do is they may be in a place that's zoned for renting an apartment in the basement,
Yes.
but the basement's unfinished, and suddenly it becomes urgent to get the basement finished as a source of income.
yeah, so, and that's we can get to a little bit more about how you can use property a bit more to make use of your new lifestyle.
So let me ask you this then. So let's talk now. Let's shift gears slightly, and we're going to talk about a couple that says, okay, we live in a house built for a family, and it housed our family, but now our family is breaking into pieces,
Yes.
and we're moving out of this house because it's too big for those that stay behind, and it's too expensive, or whatever the reasons might be. What are some things that you would tell people to do to help maximize the value of a home with the least amount of expenditures so that they can sell their home and have it be as appealing to buyers as possible?
Sure. Well, first off, don't overdo it. Some people think I've got to change everything, and they'll get into tens of thousands of dollars worth of improvements to sell a home. Where consider anyone buying a home want to put their own stamp on a place. So be very careful before you start ripping every carpet out in the house. If it's got a hole in it, maybe you want to replace it. But if it's usable and it's in decent condition, I really wouldn't rip it out. Purely because someone's going to probably want to put pink carpet in. You just don't know, and there's no point trying to guess.
And I would mention this. I mean, the people buying it aren't made of money either.
Right.
So you sink a bunch of money into it, like you say, you might
Yeah.
you repaint everything in this beautiful eggshell blue.
Right.
And the people come in and say, yeah, we just want white walls.
Exactly.
So
So really, it's about being a presentable, clean house. So you want to feel that. Actually, we used to work in real estate a couple of years ago in more detail on the sales side, and the biggest thing we found was if there's something that catches someone's eye in a negative way, we want to get rid of those. So like a door that won't open properly, or a broken window, you want to get those things sorted for sure. But other than that, clean the room of clutter and items, get a storage unit, get everything into that, so it's literally, you look almost like a show home, really. Just make it look like a show home. If you do feel like you need to paint, just paint it white. Don't do anything too crazy. That would be my simple comment. So that it's just looking presentable, easy to sell, and then make your home as available as possible for people to view. Try not to put too many restrictions on when they can and can't come, because that'll stop people coming to look if they can't see.
What are some ways to do that to make it as easily accessible to buyers?
Yeah, so things like if you've got dogs, then maybe have them always out in the kennels outside or something, so that people can come and see the home at all kinds of different times of the day.
That eliminates a lot of problems. That eliminates the smell of pets in the house. It eliminates the dog poop on the lawn and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The sounds of the barking,
Exactly.
running up and scaring the kids.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
And if you have got young kids, try and keep all that stuff maybe in one room. People understand people live, so they'll understand one room's got lots of kid things. That's fine, but try not to just allow the home to explode with stuff. They'll also make your home feel bigger as well, when there's nothing in it.
That's a good point. What are some ways to make it accessible? Because as a divorce lawyer, I often see situations where, and you might have encountered this, when you went to go do something and couldn't and weren't allowed to access the property. But it'll be, we're going to sell the house, but until we sell the house, husband or wife can live there.
Yeah.
What people don't realize is, and make sure you don't make this mistake in your divorce settlement or your order, is that it's like, well, then I'll make sure that it never sells because I get to stay here until it does, and that person doesn't want to leave. So they never open the door for the real estate agent, they'll never make the appointments, they'll always be cooking kimchi at all hours of the day, and so people just get put off.
Of course, especially if one spouse has in their back of their mind that they want to stay there. Long term, they'll do whatever they can to stop that being sold. Honestly, I would actually consider. We actually talked this again before we went on camera. We were talking about when you are moving on your new life, you may not necessarily want to jump into a new home, buy something new. You might actually want to look at renting for 6-9 months, settle your world of what's going on around you, and then decide what you want to do next.
Oh, but Harry, I don't want to take a step back in my lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean,
But are you
I
really?
really worked hard to get where I am. I mean, to move from a house to an apartment. I mean, oh, that sounds so bad. Is it so bad?
It's really not. There's some phenomenal apartments you can rent out there now. The number of apartments in Salt Lake County, for instance, is exploding. We're looking at about 10,000 new apartments in the downtown area.
Wow.
In the next 12 months. That's kind of how many more beautiful new apartments are going in. So no, it's not a real step back. What it does mean is it means you can actually think about where you want to go next, rather than being forced into something. And with the house sale, going back to that point, if you both agreed, let's both move out of the family home, let's both rent something separately, that means you both want to get rid of that asset, that sale of that house, and it makes it a much cleaner, smoother point. No one's going there, no one's got stuff there, everything's moved out. Consider it, it's just an asset now.
Ready to sell that much faster.
It's just an asset now.
No more negotiating over we have to be out within 30 days or 60 days or anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but let me ask you this. So for people saying, well, yeah, I'm not made of money. In fact, money was one of the reasons we split up. At least one of us could be living in that house instead of both of us being out of the house with 2 new rents and a mortgage. But let me ask you this. This is something I learned in the course of talking with other people. How long does the average house stay on the an average house priced right? How long does it stay on the market?
Well, this is something that's really changing really, really quickly in Salt Lake, and prices are increasing quite swiftly at the moment. And so I don't know the exact number in Salt Lake at the moment, but if it's priced well, less than a week. That's what I mean by that is photos are taken, it's advertised for sale. Someone actually made a decent offer within a week. So this thing doesn't have to be long.
Right, so moving out doesn't mean, I mean, if you're thinking, well, we might have to wait for 6 months for the house to sell, the fact of the matter is if you're waiting for 6 months for your house to sell, 9.9% times out of 10, your house is overpriced.
Yes, unfortunately.
And you may need to get a certain price for the house. Folks, it ain't going to happen. There are plenty of houses to buy in this area, and if you price it too high, and your real estate agent and appraiser are going to know what the house is worth, they're going to know the market. So that's one thing to consider. What Harry's saying is that if you both move into rental properties as a way of kind of getting your bearings, getting yourself into a smaller, more affordable residence, your house is going to be sold within a few weeks if it's priced right. And if it doesn't sell within a week, then you better be dropping the price or doing what it takes, fixing that broken window, whatever it is, because the longer it stays on the market, the harder it becomes to sell.
Yeah.
It becomes a snake eating its tail.
Definitely, and that would be something, a good point you've made there actually, is if your house is on the market and it's a couple of weeks later and nothing's really happened, get your real estate agent back and go, well, what do I need to do? Is there something that people are flagging up as an issue? And get that sorted straight away. So that asset will sell. It is very much an asset now, just move it on. And of course, if you do sit on a property for 6 months, and you've had to reduce the price back, all that's happened is all the other houses that you were looking at buying later on have appreciated in value, and you've actually lost ground. It actually makes sense just to do it swiftly. I think hopefully we've made that point very clear about.
Well, you'd be surprised though. There are a lot of people that it's their biggest asset, and so especially the way the market's been in the last few years, it may have gone down in value a lot. They may be underwater on the house, and so they have this weird idea that, well, this is what I paid, this is at least what I should get out. Folks, that's not the way the market works, and there's no special premium, there's no government program yet that says, oh, well, if you're splitting up or getting divorced, then we're going to do something for you. You have to do what the market dictates. I wanted to ask you another question then too.
Yeah.
So what can people expect to pay for home improvement services where it might be something as simple as fixing plumbing, or something more involved like refinishing a basement or repairing some fire or flood or storm damage or things like that? Give us an idea of what people can pay and how that works.
For sure. So in our business, we do all these little repairs we've been talking about. We do on an hourly charge which is $60 an hour, and so you get a door changed out for that, or might get a new window put in for that sort of cost, and then getting into some of the bigger things like finishing a basement. By the way, finishing a basement is the most cost-effective way to increase the value of your home. If you ever do want to do it, think about that vacant space first. That per square foot is completely going to depend on what type of house and where and everything else. But yeah, definitely look at basements first. You can finish small basements from the $10,000 onwards to any number you can really want to do. But
can people help you? Can people go down and do some of the work with you to help keep the prices low, or are they just underfoot if that happens?
Yeah, that's referred to as sweat labour in the industry. Unfortunately, I guard against it. You'll actually find there's this classic thing of if you've got a regular job and you earn X an hour, but then if you come and try and do sweat equity, it may take you 5 times longer. So you actually end up using up. What I'm really saying is you use up all your spare time trying to save some money, where really you would have actually been save money.
Given my present company, penny wise and pound foolish.
Right.
Yeah. So they might be able to do that, but you'd prefer that they just kind of stick to what they. I mean,
if you had a real specialty in a real area, like you're really good at cabinets, then take on the cabinet project.
Okay.
But don't try and dig the hole next to the guy digging a hole as well. You won't gain anything, honestly.
And when you charge $60 an hour for some of these smaller things, is that fractions of an hour, or is it $60 no matter how long it takes, as long as it's within an hour or less? Or if you came in and spent a half hour, would you charge somebody $30? How does that work?
Yeah, so we try and keep ours simple, and we have a minimum of 1 hour. And then it would go up in increments of half an hour, depending on what
I do something similar. I bill at a flat rate, but that doesn't mean that. In other words, some months I might do more than what the flat rate would be equivalent to on an hourly basis. Some months I might do less, but it all averages out. Kind of the same thing. You're saying,
a little bit.
We expect these jobs to take thus and such, and we're not going to just bill by the minute or something.
Right. Yeah. And you'll find that in the rest of the industry, and which is one of the other points we're going to talk about in a little bit, was about getting some of those other providers around you, service providers around you that can help with your home. They should all be pretty upfront about the cost of things before you get there, or certainly before anyone actually gets any tools out the bag. Even if it's a lot of people sometimes talk about, give me a ballpark number, between X and Y. If that's, you should be getting some sort of ballpark numbers on bits of work. It doesn't have to be a blank check approach.
Should you get a written estimate?
If you're getting involved in a detailed project, then yes.
Okay. What about, do you have to be licensed to do the work you guys do? As a contractor or something like that?
So in my industry, we operate under the handyman, the exact phrase is handyman exemption registration, and the state has the Department of Professional Licensing, and this is really a key point actually, so really well you brought it up. So if you ever looking at getting a new contractor of some sort to help you, anything from plumbers to landscapers to handymen to carpet cleaners, they will be all licensed within their exact trade with the state. And if you're unsure, you think, I'm not quite sure about this person, you can ring the DOPL, Department of Professional Licensing, give them the name of the person you were talking to, and they will tell you straight away whether they have a license for that industry or not.
Are you required to be bonded for this kind of work?
Not necessarily a bond, but certainly insurance. So, for instance, we, as our business, again, this is something to check as well, we carry a $1 million general liability policy, just to be clean and open.
Yeah, and so what that means, folks, is that if they make a mistake, if they do something to cause damage, then they can make you whole because of their
Right.
insurance. Now, if they don't have insurance, then you're left to go after the people themselves or the company, which may have no
Right.
assets whatsoever.
Yeah, it'd be
So-
just like hiring your neighbour to fix your house, you know.
Bonding or licensing bonding or insurance is something you'll want to look for.
For sure. And that's again why that licensing with the state's important, because the state checks they have those insurances in place, and they check those annually. So if so their license is not current if their insurance is not current. So that's one way of checking both things are working at the same time.
How easy are you to reach? So your company, I mean, do you make phone calls? Do I make a phone call to reach you? Do I place an order online, or what? How do I reach you?
Sure, we're trying to be a modern business, so you can reach us, through the phone. I have a dispatcher, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, on our phone number, or you can do via email, on the website, and then there's...
Any premiums for weekend work?
There's not actually, no. Maybe I should do that, but no, I haven't. No, I don't have any premiums for weekend.
You might want to consider that, because a lot of people say the only time I'm around to oversee this is on the weekend.
No, in fact, we also have particular technicians that work in the evenings, so we can do things.
So after hours appointments are
right
possible.
through to like 9 p.m. or something. We can get things done, which does help those working people. For sure.
Well, I've asked all the questions I want to. Is there anything else that you think I might have left out that we need to cover as well?
Yeah, one other thing I want to point out is when two people are separating, there was probably in their original household some sort of division of labour of different things each individual used to take care of. You know, someone used to cut the grass, and someone else used to fix the garage door. Not to say these things break all the time, but one person out of that party might do it previously. So when they separate, actively put a list together of different contractors who can help you out with these things before they occur. You don't want is Sunday night, the sink's leaking, and you don't know who you're going to call.
That's an excellent, So what you should say is,
right.
It's just like the parents that have the poison control and the fire department and the police department magnet on the fridge.
Exactly.
Have a list of those things.
In that same way, used to be in the directory of the phone book directory everyone used to use, but a bit different now. So you kind of need to make your own list.
Can you provide a list for people? Do you have like a list of here's my drywall guy, here's my plumbing guy, okay, good.
Yeah, so that's another good thing about certain contractors. If they are good and upstanding, they'll be able to refer you to really, if you like their work, ask them about other good people they know, because they'll most likely be just as good. And so just like we have, I'm part of a business group that has 50 different service professionals. So you can, if you do want to, give me a call and ask us about a landscaping company.
Excellent.
I'd love to put you in contact with a great landscaper. Same with a plumber for those big plumbing jobs.
People whose names and trades you not only know, but you know their work as well.
Exactly. So and you know that they're upstanding and that they do good quality work and they're fair and reasonable. You've got to bear in mind, 95% of people in the contracting industry are very straightforward and are very good. We all think of
I disagree.
Big negative. There's these so many sort of cowboys out there.
Murphy's Law says you're likely to get burned more often than 5% of the time.
There really isn't that many. Bear in mind, people who aren't very good don't get referred, don't get no one sort of supports
But when you're going through a divorce, it's so tempting to get those cut rates or something like that.
Right.
It sounds too good to be true. It usually is, folks.
Sure. That's definitely sure. So if someone's offering, I'll fix that for $10. Unfortunately, they're probably not going to be licensed. They're almost certainly not going to be licensed. Almost certainly not going to have any insurance, and they've probably never done it before.
And the fix may look convincing, but then that person's gone, and there's nowhere to be found when things go from bad to worse.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time. We hope that you found this very useful. And so before we go, though, one more time, just give them your name, your business information and contact so that if they want to get in touch with you, they'll know how, please.
Sure. So I'm Harry Payne of Property. So we're a home repair business. Phone number is 801-883-9220. Our website is property.us. And contact us whenever you need to, 24/7. We can help you out.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank
you
you so
coming.
much.